Selling your condo in Toronto? These are my top 5 tips for how to market your property to make sure it sells. Stay tuned to Prime Properties TV. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to episode 005 of Prime Properties TV. I'm so glad you could join us for this episode. I will be giving you my top 5 tips on how to market your property. So let's get started. Tip number 1, know your market. Absolutely most critical and important tip I always give my sellers. If you know who you're trying to market this to or sell it to, then you know where to direct your attention or their attention to. Okay? Now what I mean by that is, let's say you're trying to sell a penthouse. You know for a fact that your target market will probably be of the wealthier people, maybe. Now, if you have a condo in the financial core, you may want to consider targeting first-time home buyers who haven't bought a house yet that work in the financial core, that value that walk to work rather than the commute. Or if you have that rare 3-bedroom condo, I would actually tell you to consider target your marketing to families who have kids or children that have been priced out of houses because houses are so expensive right now. So knowing who is the ideal buyer for your property is super, super key, okay? Tip number 2, online presence, okay? Now, if you're working with a realtor, you're gonna have an online presence because they're gonna broker load it, which that means is gonna put it onto multiple listing services, or MLS for short, which is the equivalent of realtor.ca from the consumer side. Now, putting that on there would mean that all brokers and realtors will have access to it, and if it matches one of the criteria of their buyers, you have an automatic tour that can be coming in because they want to showcase that property. Now, other things you want to consider for online presence is classifieds. This is Kijiji, Craigslist. Some other things are online private real estate boards. I know there are some private boards on Facebook. I know that people are part of. I know there are some part of investment groups that are private, and you can always put them there. Again, depending on who your targeted audience, you can consider those different avenues. And the last one I would say for online presence is social media. Especially if you have a lot of friends, let people know you're selling your condo, or your realtor has a lot of friends. Let people know they're selling their condo, because you know what? It blasts out to everyone, and everyone always likes looking at sexy real estate photos. It's a thing in Toronto, okay? Tip number 3, have a realtor. Your realtors are probably working with buyers and seller side, both of them, and a lot of the times they already have a buyer in mind if you come up to their property, because they have people looking for condos, and especially if it's the right building or the right size that fits their criteria, they probably have something in their back pocket, so they can facilitate a transaction much quicker. Tip number 4, photography and videography. Oh my goodness, this I 100% recommend you get it done professionally. If you're working with a realtor, they'll likely take care of that for you. Why I say it's very good to get it done professionally is because your photos are the first representation online of how someone is going to perceive your unit. If they're done professionally, lighting is correct, using a correct angle for them so it's wide, then it's going to look nicer and better. I mean, I know for a fact because we got an amazing videographer and photographer behind the camera right now, and she takes care of all my photos for me, and they look fantastic. Shameless plug. Tip number 5, okay? This is staging. I talked about it in a different video about decluttering. I'm gonna put a link over here, so if you wanna learn more about staging, click here. A well-staged property, when taking the photos, again, look better. It's the first impression that your buyers or potential buyers will be looking at. So make sure if it's staged correctly, it will look better. Now, those are my 5 top tips, but here are 2 things that you want to keep in mind that you probably can't do that, for marketing a condo that you can do for a house, okay? Number 1, a for sale sign. Unless you're living on like the 2nd or 3rd floor, no one's going to see a for sale sign on the 40th floor. So usually that is ineffective, and it's almost just a waste of time. Number 2, an open house. This you have to check, okay? Your property management may or may not allow you to have open houses due to security reasons, okay? So check your property manager or your realtor to take care of that, and then you will know whether you can do an open house. I frankly think open houses are very, very effective. If your property management does allow you to have open houses, what you can do is put like a sandwich board to direct people in, let them know, and your realtor will take care of that because they know how to send that out to open houses to get more people in. Sometimes cookies and milk work, okay? So that's it for this episode of Prime Properties TV. Thank you for tuning in. If you learned something or simply just enjoyed watching the video, click on the like button here, say thank you, and make sure to subscribe to Prime Properties TO. And if you have any questions, you can email me directly or leave it in the comment section below. And remember, make sure you share this with your family and friends because an educated consumer is the best consumer. I'll see you next time, Toronto.